Welcome to another episode of the Coffee Talks, where we drink coffee and share valuable ideas to help your business adapt to the new normal and push forward during these challenging times. I am your host, Bobby Nairn, and we are in for a great episode today as I am joined by two incredibly accomplished business leaders and exceptional business minds. CEO and founder of One Step Retail Solutions and Secure IT Services, Scott Kreisberg. How's it going, Scott?
Good, Bobby. How's it going with you?
Good, thanks.
Right.
For more than 35 years now, Scott has delivered cutting-edge technological solutions to some of the biggest brands on the planet. And we also have renowned business improvement specialist, Doug Diamond. How you doing, Doug?
Bobby, I'm well, thank you.
Thanks. Doug is a great game of business coach, 3HAGS certified coach, and a former Gazelles business coach. Doug and Scott have worked together for many years, and Doug currently serves as an advisor for the One Step team. The theme for today's discussion is Survive, Then Thrive. I'm going to hand things over to Doug and Scott so they can explain more about a business's key areas of focus for the next 90 days. Take it away, guys.
Absolutely. Well, thanks, Bobby. It's great to see you. Let's dive right in. So, Doug, we've worked together for a little over 3 years now. You've helped us quite a bit, and we are using most of the great advice that you provide us. Do you have any ideas or stages that you think businesses should be focusing right now?
Yeah, there's a lot going on right now. I mean, the pace of information is sort of dramatic. I think a lot of different companies are in a lot of different places, but I do, I've the privilege of sitting in on a lot of different coaching calls where coaches are gathering worldwide and trying to stay up with the latest news. And I've formulated sort of what I've described as a survive then thrive sort of outline that I'm sharing with people. And I thought you and I might talk a little bit about that today.
That's great.
So You want me to kind of just talk about the early parts? I think there's a survive element, whether your business isn't even feeling the impact of COVID-19 yet. Or if you're in, for example, New York City, where everything is locked down tight and it's really kind of a completely crazy business environment. I think there's some fundamentals that everybody ought to be aware of, because COVID-19, even if it hasn't made it to your community yet, it's going to come and you got to be ready for it. So
absolutely. Yep.
Here are some recommendations, and then let's kind of talk about them a few at a time here. I think it's a good idea for companies to put together a task force, what I call the COVID-19 task force, where information from its community can come into a common source and get processed so that the leaders of the business can think about what's coming in at them and make good, quick business decisions so that things can move forward. There are so many decisions that have to be made about getting our people remote and taking care of our customers and figuring out our numbers. And I think sort of this task force mentality is a good way to start. So I'd go from there to the second topic, which is making sure that our people are safe. Because when we get out into this remote world, we lose touch a little bit with the people that we're used to doing business with. They're usually in the cubicle next door, or we meet them in the hallway, and that's no longer happening. So those collisions that we typically take for granted during the day aren't happening, and we need to do a better job of making sure that we're staying in touch. So let me pause there, Scott. Any questions or anything you want to explore further there?
No, so these must be some natural laws, because we've pretty much done exactly those things. We have a 2-person COVID-19 task force, which consists of my wife, who's over HR, and our HR director. They try to act as the stable news resource and regulatory resource. If you watch and digest too much news, we've found that people can overdo it and maybe be over concerned about things. This is a very serious topic, and in no way am I trying to make light of it. But too much news can actually cause a little bit of hysteria. And as far as people being safe, we're in different states. We have offices throughout the United States, and so we're definitely in lockdown states on either coast. In Arizona, in our corporate office, we're considered an essential service, so we're allowed to stay open. But even then, 70% of that staff is remote at this point, and those that are in the office, we're practicing social distancing and doing extra cleaning service throughout the office.
Yep, very important. I mean, safety has got so many different layers to it, from, like you said, just cleaning and making sure that we're staying socially distanced from each other, and just, making sure that we're doing everything that we can to make sure that we're not contracting the virus, to emotional safety. And, people are working from home, and that's a whole different dynamic for people, where they're working with kids and their pets, and who knows what situations are going on in their homes. They may be very crowded and cramped, and there's all sorts of financial safety issues that are going on in people's minds at the moment. So there's so many different ways that we need to make sure that we're in touch with our people and giving them an opportunity to communicate with us and tell us how they're doing.
I agree. Yep. And we're of the mind to over communicate now. Like you said earlier, the swing bys and the bumping into each other are not occurring. So I'm actually sending out a couple of videos every week to the staff. Today we did a town hall, and it was great. It looked like a oversized Brady Bunch episode, and I got a lot of feedback immediately. Like, tremendous number of emails thanking me for doing this sort of thing. So I agree, safety but productivity is important as well.
Absolutely, no question about it. Let me touch upon two more points on the topic of surviving, what I think are critical. One of which is staying in touch with our clients, sort of in the same way that we need to be in touch with our employees and staff. We need to find out from our clients what's going on for them. We need to kind of get a sense of their businesses. I know businesses that were basically wiped from the face of the earth by this pandemic, and I know businesses that haven't felt any impact. So we've got to be in touch with our clients to know what industries are they serving, what sort of business situations do they find themselves in. Internally, we've got to do a bit of a risk assessment on our clients. How much money do they owe us? How much revenue do we get from them? What can I count on in the next 90 days from each of my clients, so that I can start to think about what the next 90 days financial performance is for me. But at the same time, we're making sure that we're trying to think about how to provide value, because the needs of our clients are changing dramatically, and we've got to be on top of that. So staying in touch with clients, and then learning to do business really well virtually, because we are all at some point going to be forced into a remote sort of doing business environment at some point in this crisis. And we've got to get really good at it. If you're already forced into it, you're learning it on the fly. If you haven't gotten here yet, take advantage of the time to figure out how you're going to do it, because it's just a matter of time before your state's going to get locked down and you're going to need to figure this stuff out. How are you doing, Scott, with doing business virtually? I think that's something you're already pretty good at.
Well, yeah, fortunately, we took some actions roughly around 6 months ago, and we switched to a VoIP telephone system, and it's been really actually fantastic and seamless. I would have to say that the productivity possibilities of our team is probably enhanced as it stands right now. In fact, let's just do a quick survey. Bobby, how's that going for you, working remotely and working with your team? Like, what have you seen?
Right. We really love it. We're using video a lot. We have chat going all day long. The group messaging feature on our VoIP system is incredible, but we're doing a daily huddle. We're meeting after lunch. We're meeting before the end of the day. So there's a lot of communication, a lot of productivity. So we're big fans.
So there you go. So we're back to that over communication point, Doug, and it's been working great. So on our side, I would say that this is sort of the new norm, so we're trying to find what the new norm is. And when we had our town hall today, people were asking me, what's One Step going to look like on the other side of this thing? And I said, it's going to look different. We are not going to try to just get to the other side. We have to now invest and look into how business will be conducted, on a go-forward basis. So.
Yeah, I was at a Patrick Lencioni coach's webinar today, and one of the key points that I heard was that every company in some way is going to be impacted by this crisis. And you're either going to emerge stronger or you're going to emerge weaker. And you've got to make decisions now that allow you to build new strengths and capabilities that you'll be using forever. But it's going to be challenging to shift and morph quickly in this sort of fast changing environment that we're in. But I think every company has an opportunity to emerge stronger. And I think that's what we have to focus our energy and attention on.